In this mini lecture, we're going to continue on and continue looking at the internal assessment or the internal audit, and we're going to look at the management and marketing functions. So as you've probably heard, there are four, sometimes they talk about five functions of management, but for our purposes, we're going to consider the four, which are planning, organizing, motivating or leading, and controlling. So planning looks at things like forecasting, setting goals and objectives, creating strategies, and creating policies to help achieve those strategies. Organizing looks at organizational design, job specialization, creating job descriptions, control, coordination, job analysis, etc. Motivating and leading looks at leadership, communication, how you develop work groups, organizational behavior, delegation of authority, job satisfaction and enrichment, organizational change, employee morale, managerial morale, etc. And then controlling looks at quality control, financial control, any type of um, sales, inventory, expense control where we're really monitoring those numbers. We're looking at variances and then rewards and sanctions. Productions and operations is also an important aspect of management, and it looks at all those activities that transform inputs into goods and services. So, for example, it's you can think of if you're making a vehicle, the production and operations is all the components that go into making that vehicle. And so, really, we're looking at how we can take all these inputs and transform them into an end product. All right, so we're going to move on to looking at strategy and culture. So organizational culture has a lot to do with our strategy and our planning. And by having a strong culture, we're able to capitalize on this to create things like a high work ethic, an ethical environment, and this also impacts how easily we can implement changes. So organizational culture plays a really important part in our strategy. And so our organizational culture is really just those behaviors that have been developed and learned by the people within an organization. And so it's really looking at how we perceive, think, and feel as an organization and even how we do things. And as we bring on new people, it's really important for them to understand the culture so that they can be successful as well. So when we're looking at our management audit checklist, we're looking at do we use strategic management concepts? Do we um, do we have do we communicate our mission, vision, goals, objectives? Um, do all managers at all levels plan efficiently and effectively? Do managers delegate authority? Do we have good job descriptions and job specifications? What is employee morale? What is employee satisfaction? How is our employee turnover? And this obviously varies based on your industry. How are reward and control mechanisms? Are they effective? These are questions you're going to ask yourself within a management audit. Next, we'll move on to marketing. Marketing is really looking at defining, anticipating, creating, and fulfilling customer needs and wants. So if somebody has a need and you satisfy it with your product or service, and then you communicate the benefits of your product or service to those customers. And so there's five basic marketing activities. So we're looking at marketing research and identifying our target market and various segments, product planning, creating our prices, our promotional strategy, and then how we distribute our products and services. Marketing research is really the system of gathering, recording, and analyzing data. And it can uncover a lot of different things. Marketing research helps us to uncover consumers' needs and wants. It can help us to determine our strengths and weaknesses in terms of our product and service. It can help us to better identify how to communicate with our target markets. And then a target market analysis is really looking at what needs and wants does our product or service communicate, or does our product or service provide, and who is going to benefit most from that. So we identify individuals when we look at our target market, we say who is most likely to buy our product or service. And then we can even further narrow that down into what we call segments and saying that, okay, we have this product or service and we think that group A, group B, and group C might be likely to buy our product or service, but they're all different, so we need to communicate with them. So you have your large target market, and then you further break that down into segments. All right, our product planning really looks at identifying our products and services. This includes things like test marketing, branding, warranties, packaging, features, style, quality, getting rid of old products and services, customer service. And this is really important when a company is pursuing a product development or diversification strategy, which we'll talk about later on. Pricing really looks at how much we're going to charge for our product or services. And there are just so many components that go into this. It can be based on costs, it can be based on demand, it can be based on competition, it can be based on customer needs, it can be based on what consumers are willing to pay. The important thing is that we're pricing it appropriately so that we're making enough profit. The next P in the marketing mix is promotion. This looks at how we're going to communicate the benefits of our product or services. So whether we're using advertising, promotions such as coupons and discounts, public relations, which is usually unpaid, so working with the media, personal selling, direct marketing, where we're specifically targeting individuals. And some common ways we do this are through TV, radio, magazines, outdoor or billboards. I mean, it could be like a sign on a bus is outdoor as well. Websites, social media, public relations. I mean, there's a variety of creative ways to get your message out to your consumers. Channels of distribution is always really important, and basically this looks at how am I going to get my product to my customer. All right, and so am I going to sell it directly to them? Am I going to have intermediaries, such as a retailer, or you can have multiple levels of intermediaries? Am I going to use a wholesaler? Am I going to use an agent? Am I going to use a vendor, or is it going to be direct? So there's all kinds of options, and a lot of times the industry that you're in somewhat dictates your channels of distribution. But to me, this is one of the things I see businesses that are just starting out struggle with the most. So when we're doing our marketing audit, we want to look at things like, have we properly identified our target market? Do we have good segments? Are they effective? How are we positioned? Are we well branded? Are we using the correct channels of distribution? Are we using research? Are we using our data? Are our products and services priced appropriately? How about the quality and customer service we provide? Does it match with our brand and our pricing? Do we have an effective promotional strategy? How is our internet presence? Are we effectively utilizing digital marketing? These are some of the questions we might ask ourselves. So that is an overview of the marketing and management functions. Next, we'll talk about finance, accounting, MIS, and analytics in our next mini lecture. Thank you.